other show verses right now. Also, I just started working out again. So let's do other show verses. Starting off with Star Wars, The Clone Wars versus the one, the only Star Wars Rebels versus. That's what we're doing, 3 for 3. Set up the candle, play your set of golf, get your popcorn ready, because we're going to do it. That's right. Get bit by that monkey, because we're going to go with the one, the only Mandalorian. That's right. Which show is better? Which show is better? Which show is more likely to be entertaining? Well, they're all entertaining. They're all watched. Granted, Star Wars Rebels was a very disliked show when it was on for the first season, and for the second season, it was the most viewed season. Right? Crazy. Now, the other 2 seasons of the 2 other shows are more viewed, more watched, more entertaining. Which TV show is more entertaining? Which TV show got more views? Which TV show would you rather place your bet on? Cha-ching! We're gonna go with the one, the only. That's right, we're going TV show for TV show. We're going to bet your money on this one. Because we're gonna go. Are you ready for this one? Are you money hungry? We're gonna go Tacoma FD. That's right, Tacoma FD versus Chicago Fire. That's right, comedy versus serious. Right? Action versus comedy. What show's better? For the next show versus, we're gonna do the one, the only Chicago Med versus Chicago Justice. Right? Versus the one, the only. We're not doing 3, we're doing 4 for 4. That's right. We're doing 4 for 4. For the next one, I said Chicago Med. Let's do the Pit. That'd be the third one. Okay. Versus everybody's favorite, the one, the only. Right? Everybody like this one? Right? We're going Scrubs. That's right. Which TV show was more watchable? Which TV show? Right? It's more entertaining. Well, Scrubs lasted 9 years. Pitt's getting the 2nd season. But the question I'm asking is, which TV show would you rather watch? Which TV show do you find more entertaining? Which TV show do you think is more better? Okay, now we're going to do ER versus the one. That's right. You know what I'm going to say next, we can be friends, because this is TV versus TV show, right? This is not always about the better one. This is also about which one is good. But for this one, we're doing something a little different. That's right, I said ER. We're going to go ER versus, right? Something that's not exactly the same genre necessarily. This is what I've kind of been doing. I'm kind of following which one I'm saying. I can feel it. I always want to see the same type of show. Right? Well, we're going to go with the one, the only, Lucifer. Right? Which show do you think is better? Lucifer lasted 6 seasons. Originally was on ABC, got picked up by Fox, and after the show went off the air, it got put on Netflix. So which show do you think is more better? ER that lasted 15 seasons, right? But also, right, they're both award-winning shows, right? Lucifer is about the Satan himself becoming a bar owner slash detective. Sounds like a joke, don't it? But it's not, I promise. Which TV show is better? But, well, we're gonna end this one off. Here, start this one off. But in this video, I've started off with this one. In the round, started off big, but in the round good. In this video, I'm good with the one, the only, right? Street Sharks. That's right, Street Sharks. If you know, I've said it in the video already before, but I did not talk about it specifically. But I compared it to something else. I did not talk about it. We're gonna go Street Sharks versus the 1980s 3-season TV show. That's right, versus the one, the only Street Sharks. Street Sharks is a good show, right? Street Sharks is about these people that get mutantized by this evil Cygnus. That's right. Or turtles, basic plot you already should know, but follows this person who basically, puts him down a grate, right? And they get turned into turtles because the ooze drops, right? There's so many different variations of the turtles, but that was my favorite version, so we're gonna go with that one, right? But how did Master Shredder get turned into a rat when he was surrounded by turtles? Never understood that. You let me know in the comments below which show you think is better. It's a tie. Which TV show is better? That's the question you gotta answer. It's the question you gotta ask. Which show is better? Which show wins the war? Which TV show is better? We're gonna go ABC's Dinosaurs versus the one, the only, the one we all know, the one we all like. That's Boy Meets World. Now they have the same producer, they follow a similar plot, but they are different. Where ABC's Dinosaurs, now both of these are Disney shows. They're both under ABC umbrella. They're both made by Michael Jacobs, but nope, not the perfume guy, different person. I do believe, right? And then for the one, the only, the piece of resistance, but these are puppets, right? But they also versus real people that follow the same type of storylines of family and triumphs. One has steroid use, one has alcohol use. So which is better, right? Boy Meets World wins this one. Even though I do have dinosaurs, and I've never bought Boy Meets World DVD, although I've come across it a few times. Magnum P.I., the original 1970 TV show, versus Magnum P.I., the reboot. Are you ready for this one? Which one is better? Which one had more people watching? Well, I wouldn't know about the original show, but which one wins this one? But if we're gonna go better TV show in general, I would say the original. If we're just gonna go a TV show that you can throw on as background noise, reboot. It's not that good, okay? That doesn't necessarily mean throw on background noise doesn't mean it's a bad thing. But next up for TV show versus, we're gonna go for the one, the only. We're gonna go with the live action 1990s Hercules versus the Disney's animated Hercules. Right? Like I've asked before, and I've said over 100 times, which thing is better? Which show is more entertaining? Which show is more watchable? Right? It's the same thing with the movie versus, which I would gladly do again. But okay. Next up is Cena, Princess Warrior versus the one and the only. But are you ready for this one? Versus the one, the only. But the one you all know, Young of Young. That's right, we're going Young Hercules. Okay. TV show versus TV show. What? Now, I've done all the Jackass TV shows before, so I'm not going to do that, but I am going to do something. Duke of Hazzard versus the cartoon Dukes. That's why we're going both for the Duke of Hazzard. Right? The live action Dukes of Hazzard, which was done in the mid-70s. The Duke of Hazzard cartoon was done in the late 70s to early 80s. Only lasted, I believe, one season, but probably shocked a lot of people by bringing that one up. But which one do you think did better?